up, but no. Honestly, that seems like a normal care. People who
Be
like
right back, guys.
people who like
Okay.
to scream because of jump scares are just the same as people who like to scream because they're laughing so hard.
Speaking of laughs, what the fuck? Who wanna see a horse do weird shit?
Why is my countdown not working?
Not a countdown not working?
Because I'm streaming.
What would I do?
What will you do with a drunken sailor? What will you do
gonna
with a
go
drunken
Klondike
sailor?
bar.
Shit.
What you gonna do with a drunken sailor? What will you do with a drunken sailor? What will you do with a drunken sailor early in the morning?
Hey, oh, up she rises. Hey, oh, up she rises. Oh, up she rises early in the morning.
Actually, it's 7 o'clock in the morning, and someone might be awake. I should.
7 o'clock in the morning. Conversation go going.
You're across the seas.
That's when I need to
Yeah.
bed
I'm
soon.
in the middle of one too.
So I sneak up to your bedroom. And I thought I'd just wait there.
Hey, now you're
She
lying.
come up the stairs. Pretending I was sleeping. I was hoping you were dreaming.
3 more days. 3 more days to my next two.
Also, Pyro, look at the horse that I sit with in No Mind.
I'm
I
sure
want your advice on how cracked this horse is.
So it's all July. It says general admissions.
That's not horse.
Hold up. It's
Yes,
what happened to
that's a
$45? Is it because it's early tickets or like what the fuck? Where is the event?
That's a horse. I thought it was
And
like
it's a crack.
Oh. I thought it was a lion. Not lion. What's the word?
No, because I'm looking at these tickets, right? It says general admission per person is $68. General group admission bundle is $366, but it becomes $61 a person. And I'm like, okay, we love that, learn it, live it, love it. And I'm just sitting here, barbecue sauce on my titties. I just want to know where it is. Because if I don't know where it is, I can't do shit.
So tempted to say something. I'll just send it to you in the Virginia.
I'm so tempted to just...
No, because they're having the British... Okay, I'll explain. They brought the British experience to Atlanta.
Oh, lucky.
Exactly. And it was like, hey, at 11 a.m. on Thursday, it's the tickets are releasing, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited for it. Tell me more.
My area, we don't get that. My area, we don't get crap. Granted, it's in the middle of the fucking ocean, but still, we get shit on.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Get shit on. Your ass. Want me, you pussy. I don't know why that came into my head.
How's everybody doing today?
Wonderful.
Ready to kill anything that remotely looks like a block.
I understand that. I love how Tumblr has asked me where I've been, and I low-key, high-key want to just say, away.
Every time someone asks me where I've been, the answer will always be hell.
It's literally because Tumblr is like, hey, we've noticed that you've been like gone off of Tumblr. It's like, well, my ex is on there still, and I still follow them. And every time I go on Tumblr, I want to kill myself.
The only thing I use Tumblr for is writing blogs because
Yeah.
he only posts on Tumblr now.
He only posts on Tumblr now. That sucks.
Tumblr is Tumblr. So it's like, I don't feel
Tumblr's preferable to Twitter nowadays.
True. I can't run away. I can run away from Tumblr, or not Tumblr, Twitter, because I've never been able to. I will get back to stay on camera.
I will not.
Granted, at this point, I'm more active on AO3, but that's because it's AO3.
Yeah.
I
I've
haven't
thought about-
actually touched Tumblr in a while, but that where I'm going to have one of my ad series at for a little while. Then I'm going to move it over to websites.
I used to be on Twitter a lot, but it made me depressed, so I decided to just like, I haven't installed it on my new phone when I got it. I forgot, I got logged out of my Chromebook, and I haven't bothered to put the password back in. And I got logged out on my computer. I haven't bothered to put it back in.
No one would blame you.
I have 4.3K. Look at that Rose Fang. Look at Rosie. 5,000K.
Let me throw ads for that one.
It's time.
I want to murder.
Hold up. I need to set up the...
I want to murder myself. That's what I want to do.
You're not allowed.
I feel that.
I'm having a rough day. I'm having a rough day.
Honestly, me too.
Allowing Regina to do it.
Why can't I do
fucking
it?
got to do it. You can't because I care about you a fucking lot, and I still haven't given you the fucking tea.
Fair enough. I'll die after the tea. Just for you.
If you do, I'll come in hell and back you out.
I clicked on the wrong thing multiple times. And it's big. Oh my god, I hate this.
Most of my friends have.
Hi everybody. It's hot as hell in this house. My air for some reason is still not working, even though it's supposed to be still working. So you're gonna hear in the background a little bit of air coming off of me. I'm not wearing a sweater this time because of how hot it is in the house, but I am wearing a black shirt.
Regina.
Why? Why you do that to yourself?
Because it's a nice shirt. I like it.
Okay, okay, before I get mad, before I cast stones, Regina, is the shirt at least breathable?
Yeah.
It's a long sleeve.
It look,
short sleeve.
it look breathable. It look breathable.
Okay, as long as it's breathable, because I'm guilty. I do that too. So I can't get mad.
But, hello everybody. Today we are doing, on World Building Wednesdays, a different thing. We are still working on races and languages. These last 2 weeks were supposed to be over races and languages. And I asked you guys to read something, and I'm going to be completely honest. Because it was finals week, I did not read it either.
So
I'm going to just be completely honest. Yeah. And I looked over the essay, and I realized that it was not what I thought it was, or how in-depth it was when it came to race or language. So, we're just going to discard it. We're going to say...
Yeah, I kind of moved on to magic and technology.
Yeah.
Worked further on my races.
Yeah, exactly. But today, we're going to be dealing with languages. As always, just a real quick recap, and probably the last time we'll ever do the recap, because after that, we're just going to go ham on politics and religion. Again, the map we're using for this course, fucking love it. I'm thinking if I should upload it to Google Drive so that everyone can have access to it. Everyone can have access to like an 8K version of this.
By the way, you mentioned that we're going to be playing in this world as well as having a campaign in this world. Do you want us to make a speech? Do you want us to, when we're building our characters, to use a species from your world, or use a species from our world, from our created, or how do you want to?
I think what I'll do is that I'll make it as if like how do I say this? Like creative freedom is creative freedom. I want you guys to have as much creative freedom as possible. But that also does mean that if you would like to use it, you know, that'd be helpful.
Okay, so ask you. And what level are we playing?
I'm debating between level 10 and level 20.
Hey,
Level 20 could be really cool as like a story, if it's more story oriented.
True, but the reason why I want it to be like semi-low level is because of the type of campaign it is. Like, you guys are supposed to be fighting a dragon in this campaign, and I think, at least to me, that you would do a lot better in this case, if it was lower level.
It would be more dramatic in that way.
Yes, exactly. Because, like, level 20 is like, aha, I can defeat...
I have all of these powers.
I have wish.
Skills. Yeah, I have the wish spell.
man,
Yeah.
good luck. It's basically what high level means. Good luck to the end.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm doing a pretty decent job with my game.
Level 12 is a good level, though.
You're level 13 now, but yeah, you're right, yeah.
Yeah. But yes. So I just wanted to say that real first. We are working in the land of Exemplaris. So Exemplaris is going to be the world that we're working in. This is the map of this world. I showed you guys in like the very, I think it was the second episode, how we made this world. And the third episode was showing the differences between the two. And how much thing. I even put out an episode 2.5. I'm debating if I should upload that to YouTube or not. I'm not sure yet. I also haven't uploaded anything to YouTube in the past 4 weeks because of me having to deal with a midterm and a final in the span of 2 weeks. So yeah, I haven't had time to breathe yet. And my mom has been hounding me because the AC is not working in the house, and I have no fucking clue why it's not working. So yeah, when people get hot, they get angry. I don't know why, but they do.
It happens. I choose violence any day of the week, so therefore, I would never understand.
Yeah. But yeah. Another thing, again, I just want to put this one last thing up there again for like the last time. This is the last time you guys will see this link. I made a world template that we will using that I'm going to be using in the class, and I'm slowly starting to add stuff to it and show you all how I add things to it. So if you all want this, please, here it is. And if you in the it's also in the PowerPoint as well. So, oh shit.
It's right in the pinned messages.
Yes,
Scroll
it's pinned
down
messages.
once, and it'll be right there.
Mm-hmm.
The pinned messages and number.
Sign-in sheet. Yay, you know my channel.
Mm-hmm. I mean, technically, if you have been to every single solitary session from the beginning of class to now, you already qualify to get the
I'm only at 47K though.
No, I meant to get the certificate of completion.
We're talking about the certificate, not a chance to be in the game.
Yeah. Well, both. If you have to get 6,000 points and attend half of the classes, which you should have gotten by now, which you can get soon. So yeah. Other than that, I didn't really add the part for the reading. We read over page 31 in the Cobalt World Building Guide, and it was a good essay. Don't get me wrong, it's a good essay, but I don't think that it pertained as much as it could have towards language today. And again, as last time, we kind of gave you guys like 30 or so minutes to kind of go over race. We're going to do a similar thing as well. But again, I liked what happened last time, where I was able to change and like talk to the audience instead of just talking to you guys. So I will be doing that again because of how cool it was. So yes. Hold up a second. There it is. So yes. So this lesson is about language. Now, first things first, before I even start off, before I even go into detail about language, the audience members, you guys, what do you all know about language?
Verbal communication. It's a verbal communication. Actually, no. I guess it's just communication.
Mm-hmm. Rosie, what do you know about? What do you know about it?
Is a basically whenever it comes to language, it's something from specific people's culture and area. If you are from one area, you might end up speaking another language than another area. It depends on where you're from.
All right. Pyra.
Yes.
I know languages can branch out into different like dialects, and
Mm-hmm.
depending on the culture and how diverse it is. Like, for example, because of slavery in the United States, we have a lot of different languages that mix Spanish, French, and English together. Or you also have AAVE,
Yep.
which you have AAVE that comes from like African Americans trying to learn English, but also because it was not allowed, we came up with our own way of communicating with each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Howard.
To extend on what you were saying, language and dialects also have a certain kind of context based around their localization. You can see this within most Irish-speaking areas. Whenever you go to a specific place was in Ireland, there's a sort of language that is so different that people believe it's a different language when in reality it's just a dialect spawned off of Irish. Or no, dialect spawned off of what's it called?
Gaelic?
No, English. There you go. Just spawned off of English. It's just so personalized and different that it sounds different. Actually, you can see this within Brave. You guys know the dude who
Yes.
was fighting. He was speaking English, just within a different dialect of English, which was native to the area.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I would like to add that in some languages, whenever you say one word, it can mean another.
Yes. And Czar, what do you say?
Language there's a lot about it. It's a medium for certain types of art, as well as communication for, for both verbal and nonverbal. You can use it to pass down knowledge from one generation as well through spoken stories and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I looked it up. The guy was a young McGuffin. He was speaking in a thick Doric accent.
Yes.
It's just not there looking was to make fight for the Hondo Queen in Disney want any building.
Yep.
That was much slower, but basically he was saying it's really dumb that we're fighting for this woman when she doesn't want any part of it.
Yes, exactly.
He was a gentleman. He was
Yeah.
a gentleman.
Had sense.
Mm-hmm.
Sensible man.
No, exactly, and it kind of annoys me a little bit because of honestly that entire thing kind of annoys me a bit due to it's a show is supposed to be it's a Scottish show, right? It's supposed Brave is supposed to be Scottish, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And they are making fun of Scottish people.
What's fun about it is that while it was making fun of it, the only reason it was being made fun, or what's it called? It's actually a Doric accent. It's because of the voice actor. The voice actor was told to speak in some form of gibberish, but if you were Doric, you could actually tell what this guy was saying. It's just so indescribably what's it called
Naive.
localized that anyone outside of that local area would not know what they were saying. So it's not purposely making fun of it, such as what you see in a lot of times when people were messing up and mixing up with AAVE, but it's still in a sense the same concept.
Exactly. Simulation. Noki, I'm not in VC today. Should I still sign up? Yes, Noki. If you're still watching, you can sign up. Like you're still here, Noki.
Yeah, and that.
What do you mean? Subscribe, Noki. Why did you subscribe again? No.
Ma getting yelled at. Ma getting yelled at. Run.
I don't like pushing for subscribers because I feel like it's just not smart.
Yes, same here.
There's no need.
And I will say this, soon I might be working, so therefore I will be downloading Twitch onto my phone just so I could get points and so I could still be in class at the same time while working.
Yes.
Determination is key with
As
my
you
hormone.
As you should. Because the only way to get shit in the server is by watching things, and I do appreciate that I'm doing that. I rather capitalize on watch times than capitalize. Oh, what did I do to that? Capitalize on your guys' actual money, because that's bullshit to me. But besides the point, so yes, every single one of you guys said aspects of language and how language affects our everyday lives, and how language is portrayed in media as well. But overall, language. In this course, though, the three aspects of language that we're going to talk about is spoken dialect, written language, and symbols. And you all are going to be looking at each of those parts and trying to make one of those parts particular for your world. Now, at home, again, as I've always said throughout this entire course, you don't have to do this. If you're making a world for D&D and you're just like, I'm using the languages that are already given to us in the PHP, go right ahead. That's perfectly okay to do. What I usually do, though, is that exact thing. But, I do appreciate, and I am sort of kind of making it my own and trying to incorporate my own languages and dialects into the course as well. So, taking that into consideration, let's go. So, first things first, what is language? Okay, so according to Britannica, language is the system of conventional spoken and or written symbols used by people in shared cultures to communicate with each other. Now, as you can see in the PowerPoint, I did bold in a shared culture to communicate with each other. I want people to remember that because in D&D, it's not really... Language is sort of based off of racial stuff instead of off of culture and community. And I kind of...
There's a reason why every race, almost every race has said, oh, you know common native as well as one.
Well, no, because this is the thing, right? This is the thing about that, right? Why is it that all tieflings know abyssal? Like, why is that the case? Like, yeah, you could be a tiefling that doesn't know abyssal, or you can be an elf that doesn't know elven. True, but still.
Infernal, not abyssal.
I'm sorry, yeah. Thank you. But yeah, it's infernal, not abyssal. But still, I think that it's kind of off, and it's kind of weird that only certain races are usually known to know certain languages. Like, dwarves know Dwarven and all that goodness. Like, I get some of it, but I feel like it should be community, country-based, not race-based. I think race-based is too easy.
There should be more choice.
Yeah.
Okay. I can
Like-
see that.
Like, Forgotten Realms... like the whole entire world of Forgotten Realms is supposed to be like, oh look, different places have different areas, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, that's funky fresh, but I need to. Oh, sorry. Continue.
Oh, sorry. Another example would be because this is coming from a beta version of one of my worlds that I want to work on for a story. But the idea is combining the the Eastern country and their languages. So by doing that, you are technically creating a new language for that specific part of the world, because the idea was for that part of the world to be more based on the Eastern countries that we have, like
Alright.
China, Japan, East Asia, Korea, stuff like that.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that like anybody can move into that area of Asia. Anyone can move into China. And anyone can learn Chinese. Chinese isn't only based off of the Chinese race. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's the part that kind of irks me the most. Is like, you can have beautiful, amazing, gorgeous Asian women that speak Russian.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that isn't talked about for some reason, yet it can happen. So why is it that in D&D they think that just because, like, I would understand if they explained more about the biologies of the different creatures and said, like, oh, the reason why they have their own language is because it's really hard for them with their type of, like, with their mouths or with their bodily functions to pronounce and properly dictate.
The vocal cords, in a sense, are unable to speak in a certain way.
Exactly. Like, there's none of that. It's just, oh, each race has its own language. Here's the language.
And itself is a hot, which itself is a creation of human, non-human.
It comes off to me as if they have never once talked to a linguistics individual, a linguistics person, because it shows. It's like, hey, each race has a thing. It's like, okay. So as an elf, though, I can know common, elven, orcish, uncommon, undercommon, and infernal. But I know elfish because I grew up with elves.
Okay.
I am elves. I am elves.
Can we talk about backgrounds then? Because some backgrounds are going to let you learn. They're going to give you extra languages, not just as a matter of like, oh yeah, you work in this community and therefore you have this language. Nope, you can select any language you so desire.
Exactly, which again makes no sense, because how is it that your characters, just because of their background, know a language, but for some reason you make it where it restricts, like, I'm going to use again, Elvish is the language of the elven individuals, of the elves, and it's like there's no lore that says like the language. That's another part too. Lore. It, like, I think I even have it here. A language is both reflects and affects a culture's way of thinking, and changes in a culture influence the development of its language. So like in English we have now the pronoun they. It was originally a pronoun for mean multiple individuals, but now they can also mean singular. Even though they has always meant singular, but now we can identify and say, even if we know what the sex of the individual is, or what their gender presenting looks to be, in our own opinions, we now can say that person, even though they look feminine presenting, is called they. we've done that in our language. We have affected our culture by that. And other people from outside can learn that language. So it's just like, you know, like, I could understand if Elvish was seen not as a how do I say this? I can understand if racial languages were seen as like old dialects, but it makes no sense in the context of what D&D has given so far, how that information, with the information that has been given, how it can be transferred.
I have two
And
comments.
Go right ahead.
No, go ahead.
So going back to all tieflings know Infernal, that kind of thing, I like to imagine that as, you know, perhaps the language Infernal is magical. So maybe, you know, because all devils know Infernal because they are magical creatures, that's how they speak. So maybe instead of learn normally, it would just be, you know, you'd be born with the knowledge of this magical language in your blood, essentially.
So like you're just a baby and then
But at that point, there needs to be a distinguisher. Well, technically there is a distinguisher. I'd say the issue does come up with elves, orcs, goblins, all of that sort. But when it comes to magical languages that we know are like confirmed magical languages, celestial, abyssal, primordial, these things I bet could be explained in a way that it feels like it's being done for all races in D&D. In D&D, what's it called? The character, like, we know that elementals speak primordial because they're elementals. They're beings created and that speak within this way. Tieflings born from devils, demons, and such, specifically speak infernal or abyssal because they were born with that magical input.
Yep.
I'd say the magical ones have the reasoning. As for the rest of them, they don't at all, if anything.
I guess the first probably seen that migration these a family of elves would probably learn their language.
And
Yeah, because it's about upbringing when it comes to language. We as humans only know the language we know
And we're surrounded
because
with.
we're surrounded.
Yeah,
And
so
this is the best way that I like to put it for the race-based only whenever it comes to D&D logic. The reason that the races are put about in these languages are put about, it could be because for some people's campaign, they have set it to where there was once a war to where the races were separated and they slowly developed their own languages for those particular races, like Elven, Dwarf, etc. They made their own language. And for how I always saw it for the dwarves that worked within the mines, they slowly developed their own language so they could communicate with each other in the mines, so nobody else would know what they're saying.
You know what's interesting about that, actually, is so they have the different racial languages, yes, but some of the languages share the same script, aka like letters, like how what was it, the romantic languages of our world,
they all
kind
use
of
the
like
same
Spanish,
lettering.
English,
Well,
yeah.
many of them use the same lettering things.
Well, that's because, actually, I don't have that here, but I can talk about the reasons for that. We have this, the Invention of Writing. I'll actually not go to that because of languages. It's because we had a Roman, we had the Roman, and we had Greek, right? Half the world used Greek, half the world used Roman. And you have the African countries, right? What?
When it comes to the etymology of writing, Greco-Roman or considered, you're thinking of Greco-Roman, and then the other group would be Sanskrit.
Mm-hmm.
Sanskrit was the origin of all Eastern writing forms.
Mm-hmm.
Greco-Roman is the origin of most, what's it called? Most, like, African, European,
Yes.
and American languages. I believe the only other ones that would be considered would be the etymology of Egyptian, but Egyptian itself could be sometimes considered the precursor to what's it called, like a Roman or the Phonetic. That's why whenever you think of the different languages and more importantly the different scripture or writing symbols, it's because the symbols were created out of either Sanskrit, Phonetic or Phoenician, and sometimes Egyptian.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of our letters that you see now could most likely be Egyptian. The like oldest knowing of like say the letter B, which I can remember, was actually a hieroglyphic for I believe cow or I studied linguistics for like 4 months one time because I was bored.
No, I understand. Why am I so fucking hot? Oh my god. 90. No, my freaking fan is not working also, and it's also my freaking the house.
Working now. Work now.
Okay, I'll move it. I'm sorry. I'm gonna change you over. You're gonna come over here instead.
Oh, the base.
Is it that bad?
Oh yeah.
That was a very
Yeah, it surprised me.
You became
Surprised all of us.
Very sorry.
Vegeta, I'm going to send you a message of how it made me feel.
That shit was basics.
Very sorry. It was like right on. I didn't realize how like it was how on to mic it was. That was like the reckoning. Oh shit! I'm so sorry.
There you go, Regina. That's how it went for me.
That I didn't get to. My second comment that I didn't get to. Ideally, in a D&D world, language should be attached to like region and culture. But from I believe the way it is now is from a game design perspective. There's no character that doesn't speak common, so you don't have a situation where someone makes a character that can't interact or speak with the rest of the party and communicate.
It can be really fun having that.
It can be really fun, but
you
it's
have to be
stupidly
very careful
annoying.
with that.
Yeah.
At the same time, someone's gonna get mad.
Yeah, one of the characters, actually one of the people that Virginia actually brought into my game on Saturdays, his character doesn't have the ability to speak common, like as a species. However, he took a feat that allowed him to gain a second language of Infernal, which is good because that means he can communicate with one person, and that one is better than none. And it's going to be some decent roleplay and learning common and that sort of thing. So I'm excited.
But if you don't any languages, then you have to resort to charades, basically, and then very few people have fun.
It's the thing, right? I feel like yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like with that, you shouldn't say that you can't have fun with that, because I feel like you should be able to have fun. Either way. I also love how, like, there's only common, dwarvish, and elvish writing.
Orcs didn't believe in writing, they believe in smashing.
Well,
Yeah.
There are languages that really do not have a written language at all. I think they're still just modern day about that.
Yeah. Like, Orcish is not a written language. It is a spoken language. And that's actually what I was going to get into. I was going to talk about in the Invention of Writing. Like, a full writing system appears in independently at least 4 times in human history. First with the Mesopotamians in present-day Iraq with cuneiforms, which was used between 3400 to 3300 BCE. That should be BCE, not BC. I'm going to fix that later on. Shortly afterwards in Egypt, around 32,000 BCE. And we have officially have a fully operational writing system. And again, in the Shang Dynasty, somewhere in 900 to 600 BC. which also appears in culture in Mesoamerica. And the picture actually over here is sort of bits and pieces of what cuneiform looks like. And
so this is the first lettering system that we know?
Yes.
Because, to my understanding, a lot of cultures use symbols.
That's another thing. So that's
the next one, yeah.
Yeah, actually I have that, like, symbols. Because originally, how it was is writing was never... writing originally was not just like, haha, I'm writing now a full-ass sentence. It was pictures that represented entire messages in it. So it was called pictograms. And I believe that was terminology for it. Pictograms, where they would make pictures of things. Oh my god. Oh, sorry, hot. It would make pictures of things, and then those pictures would then become the writing system that it is. So that's one thing you could say, and that actually kind of leads into the second part about exactly our symbols. Symbols are objects, words, actions that stand for something else with no natural relationship, and it that is culturally defined. Everything everyone does throughout life, in their life, is based off of organized through cultural symbolism. And symbolism is when something represents an abstract idea or concept. So there's just a lot when it came to pictograms, just a lot of essentially symbolism happening, where they would make a mixture of different stuff, put it together, and that was a sentence, and everyone was like, ah, yes, then this goes here. Obviously, spoken languages have been around forever, but written languages are the ones that are newer. So when you're taking into consideration if your society has both a written and a spoken language, you have to think of how advanced they are. So thoughts, questions, comments, and concerns?
This is mostly a silly question. But does that mean one day somebody's gonna see all the emojis a lot of people wrote and be like, what is this strange language?
Yes.
We see that in modern day, actually.
Yeah. We emoticons are basically the new pictograms of today.
Yeah,
like
there was a language teacher that actually asked like a group of Zoomers about it and was amazed by the fact that, oh yeah, you can type slang and emoji and that sort of thing and get an entirely different language than like modern English. It's essentially what it is. It was an evolved version of English.
Mm-hmm.
And also, fun fact, people actually have created their own language. Once the emojis started to come out, people have either A, created their own emojis to create their own language, or use the emojis that they already have to create a language.
Like how eggplant doesn't mean eggplant anymore. I don't know why. I don't understand the concept of what the original intent of eggplant was. I never want to know.
I mean,
there's
those little peaches, Regina.
So originally it was a result of a meme, but it slowly evolved as a result of peach.
No. I mean, I'm basically trying to say is I'm confused why it was there. It was there to begin with. Like, I understand emoticons. You have the happy face, smiley face, all that shit. When did emoticons? Yeah. When did the other? No, I meant like when did the emoticons go from happy, sad face, and emotions to
food,
cars,
well,
images.
All emoticons were created, or a lot of the emojis and emoticons that you see nowadays were imitations of other stuff originally. That's why nowadays you could use on Discord specifically, you could use all the like normal emoticons and they turn into emojis. As for the ones that are like objects and subjects, those were created as a accessibility thing. Like some people just didn't want to type out the whole word like eggplant or blah 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 blah. But as for why it's all become like these different double meanings, that's a result of slang, modern.
No, that one I know. That I know. I was just confused as to why you have, like, a fucking eggplant as an emoji, as an emoticon. Like, that part confuses me.
Yeah, it's completely understandable why, like, you used to think. Well,
I would
emojis
think it
for
would be a
themselves.
banana, at the very least. Like, banana's a little more on the nose, as well as a more common thing.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing about that was again, it's a whole slang thing, and peach. It was really whoever got it first, whoever got there first. Eggplant got there first. Well, what's it called? Originally, the first one was everyone's most known, peach. Peach was created as a result of what's it called? Slang in like normal day or in like the older days, where everybody would call an ass peach because peach looked like an ass.
Yeah.
But then it slowly evolved into putting other plants in there whenever it came to booty calls. And like, yeah, things just slowly grew. That being said, my favorite one is cherries.
Look at these delicious big cherries.
Dick.
Hey, we're in a classroom. Order in the classroom.
Gina, you have me in a class.
Regina, this is important. This is important.
You know what? It's okay. You know what I'll just do? I'll just blame this all on Lexi. That's all I'll do.
Eggplant.
We're talking about modern development of language.
I love how as soon as I said I'll blame Lexi, she just put a smiley.
I can't believe my question started anarchy.
Wait, am I?
I will ask. Wait a second. I want to ask Lexi. Hey, Lexi. Lexi.
Hey, Apple.
Yes. Hello. Sorry.
Hey, buddy. Real quick. Do you think, for stream purposes, can I get a recording of you saying you're sick? As like a button.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay. Because that shit. Anytime I said like I was like I'm just gonna blame Lexi for it. All I heard was you're sick.
Are. I'm eating rice right now, so I can't say it. But you're sick.
Thank you.
Not in the cool way.
Kind of sad. No, I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, you're kind of sick in the cool way.
Aww.
Ew.
Thanks, love.
This is not the end of class. I'm already out.
Again. Bye.
That's mental. That's mental.
Anyway, love you. Bye.
Bye. In a minute, I'm gonna need to send a man to pump me up. Feeling fussy, looking at my Balenciagas.
I heard
completely different songs. I was singing better.
Oh no.
Bring up a fabulous.
I'm just vibing.
I don't
I
give a
will
fuck.
be right back. I need to go take care of something. You didn't realize what I
Something. I had to go.
I didn't miss anything. So, where we're getting to now with all of these sections, we have language, we have writing, and we have symbols. This is the fun part. Alright, we're remaking and making up 3 languages for our world. If you don't, what I will do, hold up, because I'm nicer to you all today, and it's really fucking hot, and I can't stay awake for 2 more seconds because of how hot it is. Like, I would love...
I'm just going to put this out here. There are literally people that get hired for TV shows and movies that do this.
Yes.
They literally get fucking paid big money to make a new language. Because like people don't want to go like, oh yeah, let's just take this African language and put it in our show as like an alien language. Nobody's gonna notice. No.
Yeah.
And everybody realizes it's incredibly racist.
Oh, it is incredibly racist. So that's why we're taking the lovely information that we have, and we are going to make it into our own language today. I said 3 on here. I do at the end of the semester do want you guys to have at least 3 like lore of languages, of 3 different languages that you have, but only one to show like how it actually looks. And before you guys say that's a lot, that's too much, that hurts my brain, I got you guys. I got resources for you all. Take your resources. Take your resources. One and all. One and all. I am indeed. I don't give a fuck. Way too much. I'm gonna need like 2 shots in my cup. There you go.
How to pronounce words.
So one of the things that I have in here is for you guys, and I'm also showing it here, and I'm going to just make the slideshow go from here so I can just talk about it both on stream and here. So I have about 8 links here for you all. Now each link, written languages, it shows you with these two websites, the first 2 websites show you how languages are written out, and it gives you like a generated thing that you can keep going at it for. Spoken, which is vulgar lag, shows you guys how to make a spoken language, meaning like it goes and breaks it down phonetic wise and all the sorts. And for both, it gives you 3. I gave you guys 3 more that work. Now, the one that I like is this one right here. And it's this one. Now, we have random, I'm going to do random word order. We're going to do non-standard letters. We're going to do it random again. We're going to make it, actually, fuck it. We're going to do features. We're going to show full features. And we're going to make it a fantasy one. We're going to generate it. Now, as you can see, we have a language. Adafu is a, actually, I can actually do you one better. I can go on to this website and let it load and get this to be pronounced for me. Show transcription. What do you mean?
It's probably running off from something.
That's my fan.
Likely the fan. Yeah.
That is my fan.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm hot as fuck. I appreciate you guys.
It's more like I'm worried about your fan. Like, if that's what your fan sounded like.
It's a small little thing. That's the problem. So, when you guys put it in here, you can see if it presses play, if it actually worked for 2 seconds. It played for like fucking 2 seconds. Anyways, but like Adafu is a popular tongue on the countryside. It doesn't have many dialects. It's often borrows words from other languages and uses and it uses verb, subject, object, word order. Meaning that Adafu says, in Adafu, Alice has a cat would be Akubu Alice, which is has Alice a cat. However, the following words, oh, that makes so much sense. That means that I could have just done random. Subject, verb, object. Like Alice has a cat. Subject, Alice. Verb, has. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do it that one instead. There it is. Idilish. Idilish. So it says Alex has a cat is the same word in the same order. So Alex Ari Brooks. And it also gives you like a breakdown of every single solitary thing that you would need. It tells you exactly how to say your how to say everything. Gives you a breakdown of it all. Do you like me? My favorite part about this is the fact that it tells you not just it not only tells you how certain example sentences are, it gives you, which is the best part possible, a bunch of vocabulary words that you would have. So, like, for example, if you need something like death, if I copy this into phonics, paste, transcript, FAI. FAI. Endless language means death. So you could go on. And it doesn't just give you, by the way, like one or two words. No. It gives you, like, to do something. It gives you a rule system. It gives you everything.
Okay, because I know, like my father, he knows like 6 different languages, and what he loves to do is like learn the rules. As soon as he knows the rules, he's able to work on everything. So instead of it being like, okay, this is a direct translation of like, this is how you pronounce this word, it's more like, okay, here are the rules. Every time you have this letter here, this is the sound of A.
Yes.
That sort of thing. So his way of learning are rules. You put a rule in there, and he's going to be able to follow it.
Yep.
That's how I.
That's how most languages are meant to be learned. Or no, that's how harder languages are supposed to be learned, and how like most polyglots learn their languages. They actually like to learn about their grammar, their structure, before they start learning like simple words. Because of this, it's easier for them to learn how to use these words, how to use them effectively. Because otherwise, if you learn word for word, you're not going to realize how you structure these words unless the languages are of similar grammatical sense.
Yep, it
That's
gives you
why a lot of people try to learn how like French is supposed to be learned, like within within your high school or within your upbringing. When you're in America, and let's say your family is within a French area, and you're supposed to learn French in this area. By the time you're out of high school, they won't learn French because they only know the words, not how to structure them and how to use them.
I just think that it's just so cool. I don't know why I like this, but it's just, to me, something like this is like.
Everybody can like their own thing.
That's why that's what they were talking about.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about earlier. When it said subject, verb, noun, or noun, verb, subject, or verb, noun, subject. That was the grammatical system. And that's how most people want to learn English, and how rules come into the idea of how learning a language. You need to learn the rules of the language before you can start messing with subjects.
I think this one, yeah.
Probably why I haven't been able to like stick with French, but Japanese and Chinese I still remember. Because
when it comes to languages, actually that's the fun thing about it. When it comes to languages with different writing schemes, you can actually as well as languages in a grammatical sense. When it's completely alienated from your original or your birth language, it's actually easier to learn it because you don't have any preconceived notions as much as you would others. Since there's such a big disconnect between the two languages, it actually helps you because you see it as a different subject rather than a similar subject.
Also,
yeah,
It's a fun thing about learning as well.
that's very strange how I have not picked up any new Chinese since I was 14, but I still remember how it works.
Well, that's another thing. Our brains like to think about patterns more than actual things. So learning grammatically first allows you to remember grammatically because it's grammar. Grammar is a pattern. Grammar is how it's supposed to be done. As such, you remember patterns in grammar more than you remember the individual words that you might be learning over the years. which is why repetition is one of the leading, ways of learning a language after you learn the grammar. Once you learn the grammar and then you start repetitively using it, you learn it more because it's being stuck into your mind more often if you were trying to learn languages from various unnative to that language. That's why Duolingo doesn't actually work as well as most people think it does.
So here, by the way, just to give you guys a kind of explanation of like Morse websites, by the way. This one's a good website. Now this is the thing, right? This one, I'm gonna be honest. This one is a not secure site. The security certificate went down, as you saw on stream, 10 days ago. But hear me out, right? You can literally just click, I believe, if you just click somewhere. Yeah, like you can just like, I'm trying to think. Yeah, either way, this one is a good site. I remember this one was a good site for some reason. I forgot why, but yeah. Nonetheless, there's one on Roll for Fantasy one that's a language generator. Thank you. Ooh, there's a coin creator. What is that? Oh, really?
It likely creates currency.
This is new. Hold up.
And it's probably going to generate a piece or a symbol of that nation whenever it's deployed.
I think this is
that's actually another thing that's fun about the idea of like language is also how we communicate within language and how we see the different things that would be subject to language. Another language is money. Everyone knows the language of money. If you do enough of something that they're gonna like, you get something in return. And money is another form of language, and how we view money and how we see money depends. Here in our modern world, paper money used to mean something when it was tied to the gold standard. As such, we view paper money as if it were gold. But back then, gold was more precious than what you would think of paper money. And that's how the different cultures also seem weird, because within my culture specifically, we use shell necklaces, we use symbols of beauty as a form of money, jewelry.
I am just remembering, does anybody remember the Bone comics and how Tony Bone comes in with his paper money and gets it and is absolutely destroyed because this isn't the currency of the world anymore, so good luck.
That's how it works.
Yeah, that's how it works.
It's also the same thing as, what's it called? Was it Fallout? Yeah, it was Fallout. Fallout had bottle caps as money because bottle caps were, in a sense, something that was irreplaceable. Bottle caps were a token of the past that everybody wanted to go back to, and at the same time, indispensable. And that's another thing about Fallout, because it was supposed to be a comment on how capitalism destroys the world, as well as modern. It was also anti-technology, but that's a whole other thing. There's a lot of things about language that has so many nuances that it can be so different within seconds of each other.
I'm like really fucking hot. I can't. I'm like at the point where I'm boiling. I'm not sure if I can fucking last longer because of how hot I am.
Ciphers are considered a type of language, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm not doing it online because it's harder to do online, but I'm creating a written language that is only meant to be written.
Good.
There's one language like this that is slightly popular, or at least people know about it because it's either part of signature writing or other things. Something called Elian. Elian uses a grid system with the Phoenician alphabet, puts it in a grid, and then creates symbols based off of this grid. An A would be a curve that looks like it's trapping an A, which is in the top left corner. In B, which is in the second cell at the bottom of the top left, the middle left, is like a box, not a box.
Oh my god.
Covering like that.
I do have a question for the entire class. So there is, like we all know like codes, that sort of thing. How there's like always like a okay. Here's the key for it. Here's how you can translate it into this from one form to the second form. Do you think that language should have something like that, or is it is there a reason why language is more complicated than simply code?
Ask it again.
So, I was just bringing up the idea of like a code system, aka you are given a random set of letters, you have a code, and you're able to translate it like that. I was offering that in exchange for a language, because that would just be easier for my head. A cipher, yeah. That would just be easier for my head to wrap around, in the sense like, okay, I can make a key, and then just translate English, of which I know, into a second form of language, and then just use different
you can do that, absolutely. I'm just saying, in general, I'm really fucking tired. I'm so sorry, guys. I might have to end it early, and I don't want to, but it's like, it's 97 degrees, and my fan, this is not even helping me. The air in my house is broken again, and I don't know what's wrong. And I'm feeling really lightheaded because of how hot it is.
That's not good.
That's completely fine. If you need to check out, you can check out.
Don't push yourself. If you do, I will come down there. It's only a 14-hour drive. I will come down there and put you to sleep with some ice. If I have the proper necessity.
I heard what you said. Went out the window. So I think, guys, that's my cue. To... Oh my gosh. Herb items, jewelry, runes, and weapons. Value 26. Generate loot.
That's a fun thing to also think about, is the translation of language and sharing of languages. Most notably, you know how there's 3 different versions of Japanese? Katakana, hiragana, and I forget the last one. Kanji. There you go. Kanji is because kanji is actually more formal. It's actually used within drawings, similar to how Arabic is part of religion, part of the Muslim religion. We're moving back onto it. Kanji is used in a ceremonial style because it was the oldest language. Katakana is actually a translation language meant to help people learn Japanese from from English.
Yeah, okay.
And then the last one is
Oh my god.
Hiragana. Hiragana is the one that they actually speak. And what's funny about it is that katakana, the transitive language, is actually...
Are you okay?
Thank you. Whoever, I'm just realized.
Oh yeah. Warlord sub with Prime.
Thank you, Warlord. Holy shit. I feel bad. Okay, that's Warlord. Makes perfect sense.
You should still be here.
No, I see him. I know who it was. I just, at first, my brain didn't process it because of how fucking hot I am. Holy hell, being big and being in the South is not good. Really, this is one of the shortest videos, and it's only an hour. I'm really sorry for everyone cutting it off. What I might do, and I'm gonna think about doing this either on Friday, probably will do it on Friday, like a 6.5 to kind of finish up what we were trying to do, and do it for just the viewers themselves, where I kind of go over how I build a language and how I go through that, because I kind of want to build off of I want to do my language that I was talking about, the sort of Creole language. That's like a mixture of like Elven, Orcish, and Infernal.
Creole was a language that was actually created. Well, everybody knows it's sort of the story. But Creole is a language that's located in New Orleans and that whole area because of the Creole people, as well as the other other
Yeah, my dad knows Haiti.
areas. And the thing about it is that Creole was divided within other languages, but in like the whole thing, Creole itself is a conglomeration of different languages, which talks about the issues and as well as the creation of languages as a result of political and physical issues that may happen. Such as why there was so much displacement within that area, which led to the creation of Creole because of different groups there now needing to converse with each other.
Yep.
Which is fun because in reality you realize that languages created between different areas, which is what I was talking about earlier, was created because there was a language barrier.
Yeah.
People were trying to, and usually a lot of people just think of a language barrier as just a language barrier. It's there, and it's still there. But language barriers, in and of themselves, are always malleable.
I'm so sorry. I know you're like excited about it, and we can talk about it in 6.5. But I'm getting extremely uncomfortable to the point where I just want to rip the shirt off, and I can't. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's totally fine. I get. I used to live in Arizona. I lived in Arizona for like a month, and I hated it.
Yep. At least it's dry air. We have fucking humidity up here, and I'm fucking hot now. Oh my god. Night, guys. See you guys later. Stop streaming.